Mike Pence, vice president, he benefits from the fact that very often he's seen next to Donald Trump. And so next to Donald Trump, almost anyone is gonna look perfectly normal. And as we've pointed out on the show, the media attempts to portray Mike Pence as a stabilizing normal force. Nothing weird at all. But something came out from a little bit more than a decade ago that's interesting at the very least. It was revealed to The Hill back in 2002 that Pence reportedly won't have dinner alone with a woman who is not his wife. He also won't attend any events where alcohol is served unless Karen is there with him.
Is mommy there with you?
Now look, this came out like a day ago. And in the wake of it, it's been revealed to us libs living in our bubbles that this is not the rarest thing in the world for a lot of extremely conservative Christians, that these sorts or something like it in marriages can happen. But it's not something that I hear of frequently. And so it's noteworthy.
Okay, so I'm gonna separate this story into two different categories. One is you can't have dinner with your wife, without your wife, with a woman. And there was another part here where she's apparently, although she doesn't get involved in policy, he does run all of his policy by her. Which, by the way, I can decipher that for you. She's involved in policy. She says she serves as his, quote, gut check and has his prayer warrior. Okay,
oh,
now,
God.
So now,
imagine if you use the term prayer warrior, but you said it in Arabic.
Oh yeah,
that'd be the most horrifying thing in the world for American Christians.
No, it's okay. Mike Pence, I just give him counsel on how Allah would want him to act. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. You beg, thank the Lord. Anyway.
I'm a lib and I'm scared right now.
Anyways, so now, but John is right. Folks think like that in a lot of the country, and I get it. And they talk like they don't mean that they're gonna go commit jihad with Mike Pence. They just say, and their way of saying we think things through is to say we pray about it, right? So I understand it, and I like to make fun of it because I'm agnostic and I'm a guy on the coast or whatever you want to call me. But I get it, guys, I get it. And even the whole gentlemanly, like, oh, I don't go to dinner with anyone who isn't my wife alone. It's an old genteel way of, and it's funny, and I think it's ridiculous. And by the way, that also has a significant downside. So what if you work for Mike Pence? Now there's a lot of lunches, dinners, etc. that happen in business circles. Now if he's got to bring mommy along, otherwise he can't go. Now if you're a guy, he can go with you, and then you get to advance in your career. But if you're a woman, well, you know, mommy's not here, so I gotta get home and get cooked. So I can't go to dinner with you, and that could have significant trouble. I was trying to be understanding, but
it didn't last.
And by the way, it's also very similar to Muslim fundamentalists. So look, I'll tell you a story. I don't know if I should tell you or not, but Al Jazeera America, they come over, take over Current TV. We're working there at the time. And so I have tremendously mixed feelings about this. I think a lot of great people work there, and I love them. And I think they produce a lot of great pieces. And I was happy. We had a marketing partnership later with AJ Plus, their online service. We don't have that anymore. But great pieces. Go back and watch our videos on that. Proud of all that stuff. But their culture was problematic, especially in America. Here's what I mean by that. Very specific thing. They would not allow women to go to lunches with their bosses by themselves. There had to be another male there. I heard that and I was like, pack your bags, we're out of here. That's not, what are you, crazy? Irina's the executive producer of the show. She has to take a babysitter with her to go to a meeting with management? Pack your bags,
Anna
we're
and
out
I
of
go
here.
to lunches. Shit, we've sinned.
No, so I know that some people look at it as it's no big deal, but it is a big deal. And it's wrong when Christians do it, it's wrong when Muslims do it, and when Muslims do it, we go, whoa, that's crazy, right? But when Mike Pence, the vice president of the United States, does it in a Christian context, we're like, well, come on. It's what a good Christian would do. And this is the lighter side of the story. Okay, like the ones where I'm not as judgmental. Now the part where I'm going to go full blown judgmental here is, they love to put their judgment on us, so a little return of the favor. He won't attend any events where alcohol is served unless Karen is by his side? Oh, that's not a Christian thing.
Hold on, the way he said it was,
that's a bitch thing.
The way he said it was, he doesn't want to go to those events without being able to show off his woman. He said something like that.
Oh, please. No. It's what, look, if my wife's like, hey, you're not allowed to go out with the guys and even have one beer if I'm not there, I mean, I gotta draw a line somewhere, don't I? I mean, are we all, you gonna just sit there and take that?
No, but to me, that's not the dark side. The dark side is the unstated but obvious flip of everything that we've seen here. Because it's one thing to say he won't have dinner with a woman who's not his wife. It's one thing to say he won't go to a party if there's alcohol if his wife isn't there. Because that seems like him being a gentleman. But then the reverse of it is, so is your wife allowed to go to dinner with a man? Or do you say no, she can't do that?
Oh, please tell me that she's allowed to go. You cuck, please tell me she's allowed to go.
Is your wife allowed to go to a party where there's alcohol without you there? Or do you not allow her to do that? We know the answer to that.
Yeah.
Of course they don't allow them to do that.
So you're not,
that's the dark side.
Such a great question by John. Either you do not allow your wife to cohort with other men without you present there, which would make you a great candidate for the Taliban. Okay, or you're not allowed to go out with women, but she's allowed to go out with any guy she likes. Which one is it, Mike?
How bad do you want
Which one is it, Mike?
Anyway.
I can't wait for your answer. By the way, you make Doug Christie look like a man. Mike, no penis Pence.
Now,
okay,
look, I understand.
I gotta go ask my wife. I can't, a beer. Oh my God, guys, I can't have a beer. I gotta go ask my wife.
I'm worried about the end of this. I understand that people have agreements and like there can be situations where maybe there can be like a little bit of jealousy. Like we're humans, okay? We're tiny little rodents like wandering on the surface of the planet. That's all we are. And so I understand that people get nervous about things and they draw the line in different places. But at some point when you try to make it like biblical, like this is the moral way to live, and understand that people like Mike Pence have been criticizing every step of our dating lives, of our sex lives, the way we get married, our whole lives, and saying that they're right to because God, the creator of the universe, says that they're right. Everything we do is wrong, whether it's on Tinder or at bars or if we're getting married, if you want to have sex with someone who's the same gender as you. And then you have to do this sort of control because you can't, at the end of the day, actually control yourself if you're around them. You're the sex equivalent of an alcoholic. That it just bubbles up through the course of your life and it makes you really pissed off.
Well, so that's the thing, John. That's the other thing I was gonna ask. Is Mike Pence a maniac? That if he goes to a dinner or a lunch with a woman that is not his wife and his wife's not around, he's just gonna be like, oh, let me at her. Like, are you some sort of weirdo monster?
Or that she has so little faith in him that she'll assume he's disrespecting her? It's bad, whichever angle you look at it, it's bad.
I mean, wait, I'm having a beer without my wife. Where's the chicks? Like rip his shirt like Alex Jones. I mean, is he some sort of monster we're not aware of? I mean, who is this guy?
Yeah.
So he has no self-control.
Well, see, Donald Trump is that way. That's the thing. He says he can't even help it. He just starts kissing.
Yeah, and so just like Muslim fundamentalists, oh no, I mean, if I saw that woman's ankle, I'd obviously have to attack her. Their view on men is actually really insulting, that men cannot control themselves. If they are in a room with a woman that is not their wife, they will, and they see either their wife's not there to control them, or they saw her ankle or her elbow, they will attack her. Their view of men is actually disgusting.
Yeah.
Our journalism drive is almost over. It ends in Trump's first 100 days. We need to hire more reporters and more watchdogs. Let's do that right now at tytnetwork.com/go.